What's up, internet? Jeff Bryan's back with it's called a one-lap review. I picked up a Stumpjumper EVO Expert from the Specialized mega sale going on, $4,200 maybe, and ridden it a handful of times. So far I'm really impressed. Woo, slick. It was snowing a lot. Still coming off of it. You know, didn't really know what to expect from it, but for my riding, it's probably just as good as the Enduro for you know, the gravity stuff, which is really surprising. I'm sure if I lived somewhere where I was more regularly on steep trails, then you know, the Enduro might have an edge just because it's got more travel, squats more, that sort of thing. But for the Tetons, this thing's been really good. Let's wait for Tucker. So I'll do a bigger review later, but you know, for now, it's slick right there. The dirt gear is weird. It usually has tons of grip when it's wet until it just doesn't. Nope. You know, the number one thing I noticed when I got on this bike is how quiet it is. It is incredibly quiet. It's just so cool. You know, I'd say in the negative category, it is heavy. You know, with tools and everything, it's like 38 pounds, maybe even more. But you know, I don't mind that for kind of my main trail gravity enduro-ish bike. And, you know, if I want something that's notably faster going uphill, I'm gonna have to buy like a real cross country. Like, this part's gonna be slick. You know, even in steeps like this, the bike retains like a lot of performance. This is really good. It's got 20 mils less travel out back, 10 mil less travel out front compared to the Enduro. You know, I will say I'm not sold on the 38 as much anymore. These new 36s are super good. Whew, a little sketchy there. And a little more give, even at 205, 210, whatever I am, it's not all that bad. It makes the bike a little less fatiguing. Yeah, I did change the handlebar to a carbon MV bar. I love their 31/8 bar. Their 35 mil bar, it's good at damping vibration maybe, but it doesn't have the flex profile I was really looking for. I'd probably skip it for most riders. It is light, does look cool. The 31/8 MV bar, however, might be the best bar ever made. So yeah, like I said, this is kind of a one-lap review. I'll do a more in-depth review when I get more time. I've probably ridden it, I don't know, 5-10 times, and in that time I've been able to put down some PRs. Which I know it kind of sounds lame to say that, but shows how fast the bike is. You know, it's got a lot of the same handling characteristics of the Enduro, but it is a little bit maybe more friendly in the corners when they're flat, and like I need to retain some momentum and energy, like when I'm loading the bike, getting that grip and then kind of just trying to change direction. It doesn't, you know, push into as much suspension, so that might be a bonus benefit, whatever. Yeah, barely. You know, the other thing is it's new, and my Enduro is many years old at this point. It's still a great bike, but it does seem like, you know, a little long in the tooth maybe. I don't know, it's a whole other rant, but I'm just not convinced mountain bikes, you know, can be maintained to their like new level. Unlike, say, a dirt bike, where if I keep my dirt bike up, it'll ride basically as well as it did day one. You just don't get that with mountain bikes, you know? Oh! All right. See, like I was saying, this thing definitely on the heavy side. You got to have the legs to push it. If you got the money, they obviously offered this bike basically in what's called a heavy metal build, which is what this is. And then they have the same bike in a carbon build with, you know, carbon frame, carbon bar, carbon wheels. And it is notably lighter. Best friend has that bike. I want to say it's like kind of set up exactly the same, inserts, tires, whatever. I want to say his is like 3.5 pounds lighter, which is a chunk. But for me, you know, for what, again, I want this bike to do, I don't mind the weight going up, and I actually think I'm better going down with a heavier bike. So kind of sixes. I definitely don't want the carbon one myself. You know, I used to think carbon rode better. I think they've got aluminum so dialed now. They always probably did. I was just trying to drink the Kool-Aid more than I should. You know, you can make a great bike out of, hell, even wood these days. Kind of joking, kind of not. All right, let's wait for Tucker, man. Tucker's been riding a lot lately, which is amazing for a 10-year-old dog. 10 and a half now, maybe. He's still got it. I never thought he'd be doing this stuff at his age. So I'm not going to win any slopestyle contests with my jumping ability. Like I said, a little bar hump over the big guy. What are you gonna do? 38. All right. So yeah, you know, I think most people know this, but Tetons really don't have like super gnarly stuff. Obviously lithium kind of is, but that's one trail. Again, if I lived in like Whistler or something like that, maybe that Enduro would be better, or if I was racing a lot. And I'm definitely not saying the Enduro is a bad bike. Definitely isn't. Still love that bike. I'm just blown away how good this one is. I can't believe Specialized has two bikes that are this good and this close to each other. Oh man, blew that. It's hard to talk and ride. So a couple more thoughts before we get to the bottom of this trail. This trail is called Parallel. You guys all probably know that if you follow me. I ride it a lot for the last 10 years. Anyway, so, you know, for a lot of companies, this is their Enduro bike. Like Commensal, you know, they have a 160, 150 bike, and that's what they race at the top level. You'll even note some of the Specialized athletes have chosen the Stumpy over the Enduro. I don't know why, honestly, because at that point I do think the Enduro is better, but I'm obviously not at that level, so maybe a little less travel, you know, benefits that level of rider. I don't know. And around the bowl. Yeah, it's gonna finish this guy out. But yeah, there's a reason so many people have bought this bike. It just kind of does everything. Does it well. Like, I would love taking this to the desert. Obviously, no problems riding like more gravity stuff. real mountain bike trails, like the ones kind of near my house. This thing's awesome on them. It's just nowhere you don't want to take it. The only thing, compared to something like a Smuggler, something lighter, it's not going to be as fun going on those giant days. And that might be the feather in the cap of my roommate, my best friend's bike, the carbon version of this, 3.5 pounds over 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 vert matters. Anyway, thanks for riding along.